Today I'm sharing 2 modern ideas to use some cute images, and we're heading out and about. Hello and welcome. It's time for another Take 2 with Therese at Altenew, and I've got the Out and About ensemble today that we're going to be sharing and making 2 really cute cards, keeping our cards very clean and modern. So this ensemble has a combination of a panda stamp set with coordinating dies, as well as a stencil bamboo set with coordinating embossing folder. And we're going to be using all of these in today's 2 cards. The set's actually called Roaming Pandas, and I'm using the stamp wheel today, and I simply just put my cardstock down on the photopolymer base, which is in the stage, and then I can just place the stamp onto the actual cardstock, pick it up with the flip plate, and also add the ink, flip it back, and stamp. And because it's a stamp positioning tool, I can re-stamp if I need to. Alright, I'm going to stencil some bamboo now, and I'm using the bamboo branches. There's actually 4 different layers to create the bamboo branches plus the leaves, so this comes on 3 different stencils, and inside the packaging it actually gives you directions on how to create this. I do want to use the embossing folder, so I actually just held that in place with the stencil laying over top so that I knew I was going to get it in a position that I could run this piece of cardstock through my die cutting machine without causing any ridges. And I'm also using the stamp wheel to hold my stencils in place while I'm doing my ink blending over top. I've got the mini blending tool and just a variety of pale blues and green inks that I'm using today. I didn't want to apply the ink too heavy, so I tried to make it so that it was heavier around the edges of the bamboo to give it a little bit of a look of dimension, although the 3D embossing folder is going to do exactly that. So you do whatever kind of blending you would like to do. I just found using the small blending tool made it that little bit easier to have control of how much ink I was laying down on the cardstock. So I'm working on a piece of Nina 80-pound cardstock, and I'm not liking the colours so far, but that's okay. I know how to fix it. This is just the base layer. It's only the beginning. I will list all the colours, all the products, everything today that I'm using at the blog. They will also be linked below in the description beneath this video. And I do like how the stamp wheel holds these stencils in place. I don't have to stress about them shifting. And I liked these colours much better once I added some extra depth with the lime green. And it's easy just to remove the cardstock off the photopolymer, and I want to run this through my die cutting machine with the coordinating 3D embossing folder just to give it that extra bit of depth, even though I did add some dimension when I was doing the actual blending. You use whatever sandwich works for you and your die cutting machine. I've got a very old Big Shot, so I use the original platform, then the 3D embossing folder with the cardstock inside, and just one plate over top, and then run it through. You shouldn't feel too much pressure as you're running it through. If you do, you may have your sandwich wrong. Stop and check before you go any further. So the reason that I stamped this panda out with Pinkalicious ink was to give it that kind of modern edge and just make it a little bit more quirky and fun. I did want to add some eyes and some details to her face, so I used the fine liner pens to do that. And I actually used a pencil first just to make sure I got the eyes in the position that I wanted. That was really easy, just to cover over the nose and the mouth with the pen. And because this panel has such dimension on it, I've actually used some of the ultra sticky tape to adhere it to the front of my side fold A2 card. I know it's not going to go anywhere. So I used one of the sentiments from the Stunning Sakura set. I thought this embrace one would have been nice, but in the end I decided to go with the smile one. And I stamped that out on the stamp wheel using some obsidian black ink. I think the black just paired well with the details I'd added to the bear. And then I used some foam tape to pop it up on the front of the card. And she looks like she's hugging the bamboo. How cool is that? I'm just addicted to these coordinating stencils and 3D embossing folders at the moment. My second card's another modern sort of clean and simple design. I thought it'd be fun just to show you how you can use one image on a card with a simple sentiment and add a little bit of pizzazz. I'll show you that shortly. I have stamped out one of the bears with the obsidian black ink and decided to add a little bit of hot foiling here, and I mean a little bit. I've used the chevron background and some brass hot foil from Altenew and literally just done a very small piece of cardstock with the hot foil because I want to make a party hat and I want it to be striped and be like have some gold lines on it. And I thought this hot foil was perfect for that. I'm using some of the Hawaiian Shores markers to do the colouring here, and because it's water based I could just wipe it away off the hot foil if I needed to. I created a little template for my party hat for my bear, and I like to use the markers to cover up the raw edges on the cardstock. And I also use these to colour in the bamboo and the leaves, but I wasn't really happy with the colours that went with the hat. In retrospect, I should have just done like some nice bright bold colours, not tried to do any shading. So that's what made me come in with the orange marker over top and also with the pencil just to colour over top of the bamboo. And that just made the colour match better to the blues that I'd used. I'm using the stamp wheel again to add a sentiment. This is from the Roaming Pandas stamp set. And I stamped that direct onto the card front, popped up my panda and my little hat. And I wanted to add a pom-pom to the hat. So I did snip the end of that off, add some liquid glue and adhere that down. And I think that's just a really fun modern way to use the panda image for a masculine card design, although this could be given to a girl as well. And my Pinkalicious girl hugging the bamboo tree. I hope you've enjoyed today's cards, and if you did, it'd be great if you could click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free and I have new content here for you every week. I have also linked a couple more videos here for you to watch and look forward to seeing you there. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.